Good morning and welcome all of you. Good morning all. Welcome all of you. Let us wait for a few minutes so that others can join and then we'll start this lab. Okay, fine. So I hope that most of you have joined so we can start the lab now. Good morning and welcome all of you. Now, let us have some basic things about the previous lab that we had discussed. So in previous lab, what we have done in the previous lab, we had discussed different modules of Veka, and we had also seen Explorer module in detail with few data sets. Fine. So in that we had used, let us say, weather.nominal data set, and we have analyzed different sections that we can have using Veka. Now in today's lab, what we'll do, we will learn that how you can create data set. And so in previous lab, we have discussed a few data sets we had opened with Veka, and we try to learn the module Explorer, that you can what you can do and which other modules are available in Explorer and which kind of task you can perform. Now in this lab, what we'll do, we will try to learn that how you can create your own data set. Fine. So for that, if you are using your PC, you all are requested to please open either WordPad or Notepad, whichever is comfortable for you. I'm so sharing my screen now. And so I hope it is visible to all. Fine. So right now what we are doing, we are trying to learn that how you can create your own data set. So we will learn two methods, one ARFF file format and second CSV. Right. So currently we are discussing ARFF file format, how you can create your data set with ARFF file format. So you can say that any ARFF file format data set can be divided in three parts. First part is relation name or declaration of relation. Second part is declaration of all the attributes with along with its types. And third part is data. So first of all, in the previous lab, we have discussed that any data set can have attributes and instances. Fine. So can anyone recall that what is attribute, what is instance? Anyone? Here in second part, we can say that declaration of all the attributes with its type. So what do you mean by attribute and what do you mean by instance? Anyone can recall? Can you recall what is attribute, what is instance? We have seen, we have discussed in the previous lab.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Sagar.
Yes, sir. We can consider attributes as a property of instance. Like if student is an instance, then student name, enrollment number, all those things we can consider as an attribute.
Okay, fine. And with respect to data set?
With respect to data set, like if is it related to some uh, like we had seen the playing cricket or not data set. So for
Yes,
that, what kind of environment is there? Is there rain
yes,
or not, sunny or not? So all those kind
exactly.
of we can consider as attribute.
Exactly. Thank you so much for the response, Sagar.
Thank you.
So exactly in the previous lab, we had discussed weather dot nominal data set, and in that data set, we were having attributes like temperature. We were having attributes like, let us say, humidity, then let us say windy, then that is kind of let us say outlook, then play. All these were attributes. Fine. So in short, with respect to data set, attribute any data set can have attributes and instances. Fine. So with respect to data set in Veka, attributes are what? Attributes are columns, and instances are what? Instances are rows. Instances, rows, attributes, columns. In short, in general language, general terms. Fine. So here you can say that this second section, second part, you need to mention that which attributes you want to have in your data set along with its type, whether that is string, whether that is numeric or what. Right, so that you need to mention here in second part. And in third part, data is nothing but the instances that you want to have in your data set. Right, so you can divide any RFF file in three parts: declaration of relation, declaration of all the attributes, and data. Right, so now let us see some basic things about this data set. Just a minute, let me share the screen with that link. Let me share the links also. I'm sharing few links. You can refer it. Whenever you want to create any data set, you can refer those links. In the comment box, I'm mentioning those links. That is for your reference. And now let us go through one link, first link. Let me share the screen. And let us try to understand that how the data set is having different three sections with an example and which types of attributes you can have in your data set. Okay, so as you can see here that any data set which are supported by Veka, It can be either in ARFF file format or CSV or XML and XRFF. These are the file formats supported by Weka. Now, currently we are discussing this ARFF file format. And now, this is one example given to you here. This is one sample data set. And this indicates that any line that you want to start with percentage, that will comment. And so if you want to comment a line, you can just put percentage at the beginning. That will be converted into a comment. Right? So all these are the comments. And these are three sections that we have discussed. Right? So first section. So whenever you are saying that, okay, first section is a relation, declaration of relation. So you need to give the name for the relation, name for the data set. So how can you do that? You can do that with @relation. And @relation will indicate that the following term will be the name of that data set. So you can say that here iris is a name, and you can mention it like @relation iris. This line represents what? That this data set is having the name iris. This is the first section. This is the second section. That is declaration of all the attributes along with its type. Fine. So what is given here? Like whenever you want to declare any attribute at the time, you can mention it like this. This is the syntax. Like @attribute, the name of attribute, and then its type. Fine. So @attribute represents what? The following will be one attribute. Following terms will be attribute with its type. Fine. So @attribute. Same way in which you were declaring the let us say different variables in C language. Like you can declare it like int, then name of variable, then char, then str. Like let us say if you want to declare let us say float, then float. These are the some types of variables in C. Same way, whenever you want to declare any attribute, then you should also give the name. Fine. So here the name of attribute is sepal length, and this is its type. Type is numeric. And whenever you're going to declare any attribute, make sure that you are mentioning @attribute at the beginning. Fine. So this is one attribute, sepal length. Its type is numeric. And this is the second attribute. Name is sepal width. Type is numeric. This is third attribute. Name, type. Fourth attribute, name, type, and now this one. Please pay attention for this last attribute given here. So whenever you want to have nominal types of attribute, at that time you can declare it like this. So in that weather.nominal data set in previous lab, all the attributes were of type nominal. They were having some fixed values, like temperature was having values like hot, mild, cool. Right? So hot, mild, cool were the values for attribute temperature. That means what? The temperature can have three values, either hot or mild or cool. Right? So these are the fixed values for that attribute. Same way, whenever you are saying that my attribute will be having fixed values, apart from those fixed values, it cannot have any other values, then you can mention that kind of attribute like this. Right? This is the format for that. So @attribute, the name for that attribute, and inside curly braces, the values. Like this is the first value, iris centrosa. This is the second value, iris versicolor. This is the third value, iris virginica. So this attribute class can have only or any of these three values only. It cannot have any other values. Fine. And please note down one more thing, that you cannot have space in between this. You can use dash, you can use underscore, but you cannot use space. Right? So these are the 5 attributes for the data set iris. These are the 2 sections. Now, third part, that is data. Now, third part, you need to mention all the instances, fine, and you can say that all these are the instances given here, and you can mention it like at the data, and then all the instances. Now, this is the first instance, second instance, third instance or third row, fourth row, fifth row, and so on. Now, which values are representing what? So for that, how you can mention the values? You can mention the values like first value of any instance, any row, should be the value of the first attribute that you have declared. Fine. So first value will be of first attribute. Second value will be of second attribute. Third value will be of third attribute. Fourth value will be of fourth attribute. And this is the fifth value, which is of fifth attribute. Now this is the third row, third instance. 4.7 indicates what? The value of sepal length. 3.2 indicates what? The value of sepal width. 1.3 indicates what? The value of petal length. Then 0.2 indicates what? The value of petal width. And iris centrosa indicates what? The value of fifth attribute. All the instances should have the values in the same sequence in which you have mentioned your attributes, in short. Fine. So this is one sample data set. Now let us say that which other types of attributes that you can have. This is the format that how you can declare the relation. So at the rate relation, the name of relation. And how you can declare attribute, at the rate attribute, name of attribute, and data type of that attribute. So which types of data types any attribute can have? Any attribute can have numeric. Any attribute can have real values. So any attribute can have integer. So integer and real both will be considered or treated as numeric. But it can have nominal, it can have string, it can have date, it can have relation. So these are the different types of any attribute. Now let us say this we have already seen that if you want to declare any attribute with nominal type, then you can declare it like this. If you want to declare any attribute as string type or with string data type, then you can mention it like this. So at the rate attribute, name of attribute, and string. This indicates what? It is LCC is one attribute, name of the LCC, and its type is string. This is the format for date type of attribute. At the attribute, the name of that attribute, type will be date, and then format. Format can be like this: YYYYMMDD. Then let us say if you want to include hours, minutes, seconds, then also it is possible. If you just want to declare date, month, year, that is also possible. You can also have the date in the form of DD, MM, YYYY. Fine. So these are the types of attributes that you can include in your data set. Fine. So now we will try to create one sample data set with few attributes.
Sir, in the nominal attribute, is it like that that we need to choose one of them which we had given?
Yes, exactly. So wherever you are having nominal kind of attributes, you can only choose those values which are available inside that curly braces. You cannot choose any other values.
Okay, sir. And sir, ARFF stands for?
ARFF stands for attribute relation file format.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so ARFF is attribute relation file format. That is the full form of ARFF. Here what we are doing, we are relating all attributes. Like let us say temperature, then humidity. So what is the relation? At the end, by all considering all these attributes, you are concluding something. Like in that weather.toml data set, you are having temperature, you are having humidity, you are having, let us say, outlook. So based on all this attribute, the last attribute was play. And that is a kind of conclusion that based on all this kind of weather condition, whether you can play the game or not. So what we are doing here, we are trying to create a relation among all these attributes and trying to conclude something. Fine. And that's why it is attribution file format, where you are having relation of different attributes and conclusion. That is your class, last attribute. Okay, Ria is also having a question that if we don't mention the data type, will it consider the null? No, it will give you some kind of error. It will not consider null. If you want to have, let us say, blank value, then you can mention it with some kind of percentage sign that we'll discuss in the next lab. So while performing pre-processing data, pre-processing practical, we will also deal with that values which are having no values. That instances which are having no values, how you can mention it, that we'll discuss in the next lab. Right? So you cannot mention null whenever you don't want to mention any attribute with no data type. So you must have data type for any attribute. Right? So you cannot have any attribute with no type. You can have blank values for data instances, but you cannot have null for any kind of attributes. Fine. Thank you so much for asking the queries, Sagar and Ria.
So do we have Boolean kind of data type in this?
Yes, you can have.
Okay.
We will see that kind of examples also in upcoming practicals, where you can have 0 or 1 kind of values. Well, that kind of practicals we'll discuss while we are going to perform classification, prediction, clustering and all. Okay, so what we are doing now, we are trying to create our own data set. Fine, so let us put all these lines as comments. So simply by putting percentage. Okay, and as we have discussed that the first part is relation, so at the rate relation. And name, let us take, excuse me, sample data set. Excuse me. Okay, so at the relation, the name of the data set, sample data set. So inside, you can mention different data set that will be displayed in Weka. This is the first part. Now, second part, declaration of all the attributes with type. So for that, what you can do, let us say you can do like attribute, and name of that attribute, let us take GR number. And this one more thing that while mentioning this attribute name and all, you cannot have space. You can use dash, you can use underscore, but you cannot have space. And let us keep its type as numeric. And let us say attribute, second attribute, it's a name, and type of the name, let us take string. Then third attribute, let us keep division of the student, and let us take nominal for this. So division, that is class can be TC1, class can be TC2, class can be TC3. And one more status, or sorry, one more attribute, that is placement status. You can have either whether the student is placed, yes, no, or not interested. So these are the 4 attributes that you can have in any data set that we are considering for creating our sample data set. then @data. Then now what we need to do, we have successfully created two parts, first and second. Now it is time to add the data, that is instances. Okay, Ria is saying that is it case sensitive? No, you can have small fonts also, but this is just for our reference that let us say this is the name and this is its type. That is just for my reference. Fine. Now it is time to add the instances. So for instances, first row, first instance. So as we have mentioned the first attribute as GR number, let us add GR number first for first row. Let us say first student's GR number 111. In first row, first value will be of first attribute. Second value will be of second attribute, that is name. Let us say the name of the student is, let us say Om. Then division. Okay, one more thing. Whenever you are having string kind of attributes, make sure that you're going to mention it inside double inverted commas for all the attributes which are string. For nominal, it is not necessary. And so for nominal, you cannot use double inverted commas, otherwise it will treat as string. And so next is division. So let us say TC2. Then placement status, let us say yes. Then second student, GR number, let us say 222. Name, let us say J. Division, let us say TC1. And placement status, let us say not interested. And third student, name, then class, let us say TC3. And placement status, let us say no. And so here we are having 4 attributes and 3 instances with the data of 3 students. And so currently this file is text file. This file is text file and we are creating ARFF file. So for that, I need to save this document as ARFF file. And so right now what I will do, I will try to save this as ARFF. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, so I'm saving this as, let us say, and converting that format into ARFF file. And so outside, I have saved it as a 7TC2 B batch dataset, and inside this file, I have saved it as sample dataset. And so this is the name that will be displayed inside Weka. So whenever you are going to open that, you will get something. Okay, let me just show it to you. What kind of difference you will get. Okay, amazing. One question that, sir, here, yes, no is also a string. So we need double inverted commas or not? Okay, I will take your question within few minutes, just a minute. Let me just show you that which kind of effect you are getting. Taking a question now, just let me mention this point. So as you can see that here, this is the file that we have created. And this is the file that you have mentioned. And now it is having the icon of Veka. Okay, now taking your question now. Just a minute, let me just show that data set. Okay, so taking your question now, Ami. Okay, here you are talking about the last attribute, placement status, right? Okay, fine. So wherever you want to have string kind of attributes, you can mention it like this. Let us say name is one string attribute. And so you can mention it like this, that attribute, then name of that attribute, let us say name or student name. Let us keep it as student name. Student name. Then the type of this attribute is, let us say, string. So all the attributes with string type should be mentioned inside double inverted commas. And these two attributes like division and placement status, here we are fixing the values. Like let us say division can have TC1, TC2, TC3. Placement status can be have either yes, no, or not interested. And so these two attributes are of type what? String or nominal. You can consider this attributes as string or nominal. Nominal, exactly. And all the attributes that are of type nominal, for those kind of attributes, there is no need to mention those values inside double inverted commas. Right? Those are fixed values. So there is no need to mention or no need to include double inverted commas. You can include only for string. For nominal, there is no need. So here division and placement status both are nominal, both are having some fixed values. So you can mention directly as TC2, TC1, no need to include double inverted commas. Okay, fine. Thank you for asking the question. Great. Fine. So we have saved this as ARFF, and now we are trying to open this with Veka. So all are requested to please start Veka and go to the Explorer module. And then go to the location that you have used to save it. Okay, can you share the full screen? Yes, just a minute. Let me share it. Okay, so I hope that you can see now. Fine. So I'm trying to open this with Veka now. This is the data set that we have created. And whenever you're going to open it, you will get something like this. Fine. So here, as you can see that this sample data set, that is a name that we have mentioned inside that ARFF file. It is having 4 attributes: GR number, student name, division, placement status. It is having 3 instances, that is the data of 3 students. Currently, we have selected this GR number. And here you are getting the same information regarding the same attribute, GR number. So name is GR underscore number, type is numeric, missing values 0, distinct values 3, unique values 3 because no values are repeating 111, 222, 333. Fine. So minimum value is 111, maximum value 333, average and standard deviation. And this is the graph for it. Inside graph also you can see that 111 minimum, 333 maximum, And this is the graph for 3 instances. Then second attribute is student name. Fine. So the name is student underscore attribute, a student underscore name. Type is string. Missing values 0, distinct values 3, unique values 3. No values are getting repeated. And for string kind of attribute, you cannot have any kind of other information here, any statistical information here. And you are not getting any graph here. Why? Because it is mentioning that attribute is neither numeric nor nominal. Only for these two types of attribute you can have graph. Division, name of that attribute, division, type is nominal, missing values 0, distinct values 3, unique values 3. Right? So all are repeated only once. That's why unique values 3, all are considered as unique. Then light blue represents TC1, dark blue for TC2, and red for TC3. Okay, one more thing. This is TC1, this is TC2, TC3. Colors which are light blue, dark blue, and red. That is my mistake. It is not for classes. These colors are not for representing classes. It is representing something else. Fine. So representation of colors are something else. That is my mistake. Sorry for that. The colors are representing of class. And for getting the meaning of for these colors, what you need to do that we already discussed in the previous lab, that here the class is placement status. And whenever you're going to visit this or select this placement status attribute here, and class both are same, now you can say that dark blue represents yes, red represents no, and this sky blue is representing not interested. But now you can come to this and you can conclude something that there is one student in TC1 who is not interested, there is one student in TC2 who is placed, and there is one student in TC3 who is not placed. But that is the meaning of the colors. This is how you can derive some conclusions from these graphs also. So dark blue placement status yes, red that is placement status no, and light blue is for not interested. And that is the meaning of this along with respect to classes. And so for this also, selected attribute is placement status, then type is nominal, missing value 0, distinct values 3, unique values 3, because all are appearing only once, no one is getting repeated. Okay, so that is how you can create the data set with RFF file format, and you can load it in Vega. Okay, so up to this, anybody, any kind of question, any kind of doubt? Up to this, anyone, any query? Okay, thank you for the response, Ami. Others? Okay, thank you for the response, Sagar. Thank you, Hearing, for the response. Thank you, Ria. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to assign a task to all of you. That is creating your own data set, student.rff. Fine. So you need to create a data set, student.rff, and I'm also going to mention the attributes that you need to include. Okay, so here I'm mentioning the list of the attributes that you need to include in the data set. And so you need to include all these attributes with type and at least 20 instances. And so you all need to create a data set with all these attributes and these types only, and with at least 20 instances. And I had also mentioned few values as example. For example, enrollment number can have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then name as, let us say, home. And here the type is string. So you need to mention it inside double inverted commas. And CPI type is numeric, age type numeric, gender nominal. Fine. So how to mention nominal values, that we already discussed. Then mentor, again nominal. And one more thing, whenever you have to mention any nominal values, don't include space. You can have underscore, you can have dash, but don't include space. Right? So mentor is also nominal. Then batch nominal, city nominal. Why nominal? Because they are having some fixed values. Like batch can have either A, B, or C. Then a city can have either, let us say, Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, like that, Surat. But it is also fixed values. Then elective subject nominal. It can have, let us say, either Android or cloud computing, like that. And attendance is also in numeric. And placement status, you can have yes, no, or not interested. Right, so these are some sample values, and with all these attributes and types, you need to create data set with at least 20 instances. Fine. All of you clear about this task? All of you clear what you need to do? Okay, fine. Thank you for the response, Sagar. Others, thank you, Ami, for the response. Thank you, Ria. Great. Fine. So that is a kind of homework, and that you need to submit before next lab. Fine. So I will create Google Classroom task, and in that you need to submit the data set that you are going to create. Okay, do we have constraint in this? Constraints like Sagar? No, there is no any constraint for unique and distinct values. Okay, fine. Thank you. Also, whenever you're going to create any data set, so it is not necessary that in that data set for any attribute, you should have 3 unique values, 5 distinct values. There is no any constraint like this. Right, so what you can do, let us say in your class, you are having around 60 students. So you can take the data of any 20 students and you can add the values here. Fine, and you can create data ARFF file for that. And that you need to complete before next lab, because in next lab, using the same data set, we are going to perform pre-processing operations using Veka. Right? Pre-processing based practical we are going to perform within the same on the same data set. That is why I'm asking you to complete before next lab. Otherwise, what will happen that in next lab you will not have any data set to perform. That is, you will not have any common data set, you can say. Right? So next thing, we will learn that how you can create data set with CSV file format. Right, so let us create a sample data set with CSV file format, and then we will wind up this lab. And for that, I'm requesting all of you to please open Excel file. Okay, so sharing that Excel file with you. Just a minute. Okay, fine. So I hope the screen is visible to all. Okay, so let us take some other kind of attributes like, let us say, state and city. And then let us say vacancy. Fine. So state, city, vacancy. These are three attributes that we are having. Now let us take the values. Let us say state Gujarat and city vacancy. Let us say 25. State again. Let us say Gujarat, city Rajkot vacancy. Let us say 20. State Gujarat, Gandhinagar vacancy. Let us say 35. State, let us say Rajasthan, city, let us say, or let's take Maharashtra, and city, let us say Pune, vacancy, let us say 45. State Maharashtra, city, say Mumbai, and vacancy, let us say 40. So currently we are having this file as XLSS, that is Excel file format. Now what we'll do, we are trying to save this as CSV. So we are trying to save this as CSV, and let us see what will happen. And we'll try to open that with Vika. So CSV file format. Now let us try to open this with Vika. So open file. Currently it is showing only RFF. Why? Because here we have having file type RFF. You can select CSV, and yes, we can get it now. And let's try to open it. And as you can see that now we are able to open it. State, city, vacancy. So three attributes: state type nominal, city type nominal, vacancy numeric. Minimum 20, maximum 45, average 33, standard deviation 10.368. And if you just change state as class, Then you can also see here that let us say in city, Ahmedabad one vacancy, Rajkot one vacancy, Gandhinagar one vacancy, Pune one vacancy, Mumbai one vacancy. Oh, sorry, that is not vacancy. Sorry. That is my mistake. This one indicates no vacancies. That is just the meaning of uh, this attribute value. Ahmedabad. There is only one. That is in city. Ahmedabad is appearing only once. That is the meaning of this one. Then here in attribute city, Rajkot is appearing only once. Fine. So this is the count. And here we have changed class as state. Now, what is the meaning of this blue color and red color? So for that class as state, selected attribute state. So here you can say that blue indicating Gujarat and this indicating Maharashtra. Right? So this you can say that these are the vacancies in Gujarat-based cities, and these are the vacancies, or these are the cities in Maharashtra. That is meaning of these colors. And 1111 indicating what? In this city attribute, let us say Gandhinagar, or say Ahmedabad is appearing once, Rajkot is appearing once, Gandhinagar appearing once, Pune is in Maharashtra because it is having red color. It is appearing once. Mumbai is appearing once. That is meaning of this data. Okay, so up to this, anyone any doubt? Creating any data set with CSV and RFF? Anyone, any kind of question, any kind of doubt, any kind of queries?
Sir, here we didn't specify the data types.
Yes, we have not specified any data types. It is directly taking the data type.
Okay, sir. So if we want to consider any column as a string data type, so
Okay.
in the Excel sheet, should we write in bracket like inverted comma yes or
Yes.
anything else?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Vic, for the response. Anyone else? Any queries? Any doubt? Okay, fine. So we are winding up this session, winding up this lab now. In the attendance, just a minute. So starting with Vivek.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Hiren.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pranshu.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ami.
Present, sir.
Thank you, Kruti.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Titiksha.
Present, sir.
Thank you, Janish.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sagar.
Present, sir.
Thank you, Shubham.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ria.
Present, sir.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, then Yash Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, then Nancy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, then Chand Kumar. Not responding. Srushti.
Present, sir.
Thank you, Bhavin. Not responding. Then Sagar.
Yes, sir. Present.
Thank you, Sagar.
Sir,
Yes,
roll number 98, Bhavin present.
Bhavin. Okay, done, Bhavin. Thank you. Chan, done. Thank you. Deep. Deep. Swati. Thank you. Harsh. Sumit.
Sumit present.
Thank you. Maitri. Maitri. Okay, anybody left? Thank you so much, all of you. See you in the lectures. Thank you. And please submit data sets, CSV as well as AirFF, both in that Google Classroom task. I will share the link soon. Thank you. Thank you so much.